Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 9th episode of Unboxing Women, where we explore why women in business are often called such a bitch. Our aim is to explore how and why women are marginalized in the music industry, and we will also broaden our view to the underlying aspects of modern society in general. So my name is Maika Rose, and I'm joined today by Rexx.
Hi.
We are both independent artists and singer-songwriters. I'm based in Germany. Dana's based in Belgium. And this is a live stream on Facebook and Instagram. I've said it enough times today. So we also have a YouTube channel where we upload the videos on Mondays. So, Dana, we've got a special topic today, don't we? Why don't you get us started?
Yes, we do. We will talk about Kesha today and all of the fun things that happened with her and her ex-label. And the producer, Dr. Luke, to be more specific. Sorry, got my in-ear in my ears. To be honest, I found it very, very complicated. It's a big, complicated mess, basically. So I've tried to map it out in a little bit of a timeline. So if you want, I can start us off with that. I don't know if everybody who is listening is aware. So Kesha is an artist. She had her first hit with TikTok, TikTok on the clock. Yeah. Everybody knows that. She also sang with Pitbull on a couple of things. Timber is the one. And yeah, she had a couple of really big hits and some awards and all of that. So she's a big deal I think she's a big deal in the music industry. She's a great artist in my eyes, and she's had some issues with the gender thing. So in October 2014, Kesha, I should say Kesha, not Kesha. Kesha.
I think it's Kesha, yeah.
She sues Dr. Luke in California court for sexual assault and battery, among other things, which she claims happened in October 2005, so 9 years before that. And that was shortly after she signed a recording deal with Luke. And it is several years before her career took off with TikTok in 2010. So she alleges that Dr. Luke subjected her to long-term emotional abuse and fat shaming. So, he basically was saying, keeping her down psychologically to basically do what he wanted her to do with these songs and the whole brand and everything. Keeping control of her is what she claims he was doing. She says it caused severe depression, post-traumatic stress, social isolation, panic attacks, and all of these beautiful things. She asked the judge to free her from her recording contract with Luke, who has an imprint called Kemosabe Records with Sony Music. So she had the contract with Kemosabe Records, not with Sony.
Which was under Sony.
Yes, but Kemosabe is under Sony. But she did have the contract with him. All right. So that's where it all starts. The thing that I've kind of filtered out is that she did not get a lot of artistic input on any of those albums when she was in that period of her career, and apparently she wrote a huge amount of songs which were never ever cut, which were never on the album. Which were always cut from the album.
Right. Yeah.
So cutting a song means also recording a song in our jargon, for people who are not aware. So it's frustrating as an artist. I can understand that, but do you think she made this up just to get out of the contract and to be able to be more free artistically? Is this really the best strategy? Because that's what the other side is saying, that she's just using these excuses and trying to get out from under it.
So I think Dr. Luke countersued her, didn't he? So
he did.
He countersued her for defamation.
Yes.
And for several $1 million, I think. And he said that obviously this had never taken place, the alleged battery, etc. And there was also a complication because I think she stated in what was it? What's it called? A declaration, or she stated in 2011 that she had never been sexually abused or attacked by Dr. Luke. So she said that in front of a court in 2011. So the court, when she then went against them for this, went against Dr. Luke, then said, but you said in 2011 in front of a court of law that this did not happen.
Yeah.
So they kept bringing that up against her, which, I mean, understandably, as a law, like in a case of law. But what I found most disturbing about the whole thing when I researched into it is that it says, this is a quote from somewhere, most of the singer-songwriter's claims, so Kesha's claims, including emotional distress and employment discrimination, are not valid legal causes of action for scrapping a contract in New York. So you can get a divorce from an abusive spouse.
Yeah.
You can dissolve a partnership if the relationship becomes irreconcilable.
Yeah.
The same opportunity should be given to somebody who is in, a destructive relationship, physically, emotionally, financially, and it should be available to a recording artist as well.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like filing for divorce. You do like a settlement or something that should be available, but that you can't, that it's not a valid legal cause to negate a contract is absolutely insane to me.
It is. It is to me too. And is it not more likely she got to a point where it was clear she would, because she was in depression and she went into, it's not called rehab, but she went to a clinic, yes, for help. I mean, it was clear that she was leaning towards suicidal at one point, or going totally mental. Is it more likely that she would just make this up, or is it more likely that she would fight back by telling the truth and saying, okay, look, in 2011, or whenever when did she say that? Oh, she said it after she sued him. Is that right? No, let me see. Before.
So she
in 2014. Yeah.
And she stated the other thing in 2011.
But why was she before court in 2011 to actually state that? What was going on at that moment that she had to say that? And if she's under that same pressure at that exact time, well, is it not logical that she would say no, everything's fine?
Yeah.
But afterwards, she gets to a point where, I mean, she became suicidal, that you don't just get there on a whim.
No.
I'm just thinking, what is your strategy? As an artist, as a woman, you're in this relationship, imagine for a second, nothing that she is claiming actually happened. So he's normal. Okay. He doesn't cut her songs so they don't get on the albums, because he wants his songs on. I don't know. But he doesn't rape her. He doesn't abuse her. Would you really come out with this kind of story just to get out from under the contract? Really?
That's a good question. I think even if you were to come up with this kind of story, you would not suffer the emotional and mental breakdown that she suffered afterwards if it hadn't been real. That's what I would think. So I don't know. I think it's very unlikely that she made it up. So I remember there was something to do with Katy Perry and Lady Gaga.
Yes, I have that here.
In combination with this. And
sorry, just drinking.
That's fine.
So, yes, you mentioned he countersued her for defamation, right? So it was something about Kesha texting Gaga and telling her that Luke raped Katy Perry. But apparently that was indeed not true, because Perry testified afterwards in court to this, and she said she was not raped by Luke. My question is, why would a text message between Kesha and Gaga be all of a sudden public knowledge? Who told the press? Did Gaga leak this? Why is this? It's a text message between two people. Why is this in the public eye? Why was this, researched or real?
Yeah. I mean, it must have been leaked.
How is that even possible if it wasn't her or Gaga?
It's a good question.
So that's very strange to me. So yeah, there's also a little quirk to this. So in 2010, and this might have to do with the 2011 thing that Kesha, I keep saying Kesha said in court, is in 2010, DAS, it's you can call it a communications marketing company. Let's just call it that. They represented Black Eyed Peas and John Legend as well, for example.
Right.
They sue Kesha for $14 million in unpaid commissions on work the company says they got from Kesha after she ended their contract, which is weird. So they didn't have a contract anymore, but she calls them up and says, work for me, and they just do it and then say, you owe us. I mean, shouldn't there be somebody who says, okay, but let's sign a contract or something? I don't know. They also sued Dr. Luke for $12 million for allegedly interfering in their partnership with Kesha. So
right. I remember reading about that.
Yeah, so this is a third party also suing Dr. Luke at this moment. Okay, so I mean this gets very complicated very fast.
Yeah. It's a huge kind of amalgamation of different lawsuits that just pile on top of each other, and I don't even know if Kesha is the one who technically started this, but I think there were lawsuits in place before, because there must have been, otherwise she would not have testified in front of a court of law about not having been abused by Dr. Luke. So there must have been a lawsuit beforehand, and that asked the question, why was there a lawsuit beforehand? So it's really just kind of, I don't know, the thing that really annoys me the most about the whole situation is that she was obviously not feeling very good in this contract, this obligation that she had. She obviously, whether the claims are true or not, she obviously felt these things.
Yeah.
So the mere fact that she felt that way should have been enough to be able to negotiate a way out of the contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
And not just be like, no, you can't do that because blah, blah, blah. Like, seriously, you don't want somebody working with you or for you that does not feel comfortable with you. You will not produce the good results you want. You will not get, you will not have any fun doing that. And you will potentially waste a lot of money, because things like this happen, that people will sue at some point to get out of the contract. And then you will lose even more money. You might lose rights on the productions. You might lose rights on the songs you've recorded together. There's a whole lot of things. There's so much better ways to sort these things out and just take people seriously when they say they're not feeling respected. They're not feeling, it's not just not feeling respected in this case. She wasn't, she was feeling emotionally abused. The fat shaming bit, right? It was to make her lose weight and stuff. And we all know Kesha. We all know she's really skinny, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's obviously that must have come from somewhere. And I mean, maybe she's just naturally skinny, but I would never have said or thought that she needed to lose weight. So I don't understand people in general who tell someone you need to lose weight, unless you're morbidly obese and it's actually a kind of medical issue, and if you don't lose weight you're gonna die.
Yes.
Otherwise it's none of your fucking business.
Exactly.
yeah, maybe you're doing her brand and stuff, but whether she weighs 10 pounds more or not will not make a difference to people.
No,
Like,
exactly.
seriously.
Yeah, she was very, very thin when she was doing TikTok and all of that. Um, and now, I mean, she looks healthier. She did put on a little bit of weight, but she looks great. You know, she's come into her own, and she just looks so much calmer. That, well, in my opinion, you know. So and yes, the girth of an artist has nothing to do with the art that they bring. You know, if you want a hit, if you can write a hit song, it's not because you're thin at that moment. You know what I mean? And a lot of artists, obviously, I've seen this a lot of times. They become famous, you know, when they get their first hit or whatever. They're a little bit, you know, they're normal. They're normal, and then they lose a lot of weight. But why is that? That's because they've started touring. So they've been doing choreography like for days and days and days. And, you know, they just get in shape physically because they're doing all of these things. And you know, while before that, they might have been a bit
stressed.
Yeah, exactly. And before that, they might have been just, you know, at home and they were writing songs. And then this big thing hits and all of a sudden they're dancing on stage every night with, you know, obviously all the rehearsals and everything. So it's normal that you lose weight when you start this whole process. And then people are like, oh, you see, because she was fat before. Now all of a sudden she's thin. But sometimes it's not because they want to be thin or thinner that all of a sudden they lost weight. It's because they're actively touring and dancing and doing videos with choreographies. So I think, a lot of that is, you know, it's that people are very judgmental about that of, oh yeah, she was fat because
People
she's thin now.
Judgmental of that for women.
Yes, for women. And then, oh yeah, you know, after that, oh, did you see Gaga? You know, she stopped touring and now she's gaining weight. She might be pregnant, you know? So no, she's just returning to like her normal her normal weight. And it's because she's not dancing every day anymore and not like, you know, totally, I'm on tour here and doing 150 countries. So, you know, let her have a pizza once in a while. You know what I mean? Yes, about men. Sorry. Yeah. You go ahead first.
Okay. It's not even just that though, isn't it? It's not just the food and let her have a pizza. It's just, if you're, like you said, if you're dancing every night for weeks on end or months on end, you're going to lose weight. You've got the rehearsals. You're going to burn more calories. You can eat as much as you want because you're going to burn them off anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're at home suddenly and you're not doing these things, unless you're spending hours in the gym every day or every other day, you're gonna go back. That's the body. That's how it works. You're supposed to have like spaces where you know, they don't call it, I don't know if this is a thing in English, I don't think it is, but in Germany we call it Winterspeck. So it's basically winter fat.
Right? Yes.
So you gain a little bit of winter fat to get you through the winter because that's how it used to work.
Yeah, exactly. You're cocooning, you're like at home and it's like, oh my God. And now with Corona, we're like, oh, let's have a glass of wine. Oh yeah, we're at home anyway. We don't need to drive anywhere. So why not? What I wanted to say about, because you were saying men and getting, you know, gaining weight or losing weight. I have seen this happen recently that I thought, wow, you know, he gained some weight. And it was Sam Smith. Sam Smith was a couple of months ago on the Graham Norton show. And because he had released a thing and he was singing there. And I was very surprised all of a sudden because he had gained a lot of weight actually. And, you know, I don't really care about his weight. It just struck me. But I have not heard anybody talk about this in any press. I haven't seen anything like, oh my God, Sam Smith has gained weight. Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's...
the reaction is different.
There was no reaction.
I have actually heard Sam Smith talk about this before, because when he
really
started, he did a video, or I think it was a YouTube interview with, what's her name? I don't remember her name. I'll try and find it later. Okay. But so it's a YouTube interview, and he talks about this because when he started, when his first album, big hit basically, he was chubbier. He was like a bigger guy. And he felt this pressure to lose weight. So he did feel the pressure as well. And he just kind of lost a lot of weight really quickly because he was on tour, because he was doing stuff, you know. Yeah. And then he felt the pressure to keep it, and it crept back up. So it's kind of, for him, it's kind of like it's not, he was always skinny. He's always been kind of, he said, a little bit chubby, and then it's like been hard to lose weight. Okay. So it's interesting because at the same time, I don't think anybody would really say like, yes, you look at him and you say, oh, okay, he's gained a lot of weight. I'm surprised. But you won't say, oh God, he's gained a lot of weight. That doesn't look good at all. You know, and like with women, it's always like, oh my God, she's gotten fat. Yeah. You know, so it's a completely different reaction. And the tabloids rip you a new one if you gain weight. So
they do.
Yeah.
What I actually, this is good. I mean, yes, let's try and find that YouTube interview and put it in the show notes. So he did say that he felt the pressure to keep the weight off.
Yeah.
Basically, like a woman would do.
I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that he's gay. So maybe he feels different pressures as well as a gay man, because there's that community as well who are very visually fixated, a lot of gay men. But I don't know, maybe it would be really interesting to have the differentiation of like straight and gay woman, and straight and gay man, and like cis and transgender and whatever. Wait, cis is straight, isn't it? I keep getting mixed up with this, but it would be really interesting to see the different perspectives for people who have gone through this, to see who actually reacts to what and who thinks what about what, because that would be an in-depth study.
It would.
It'd be really cool.
It would. Yes, we will do a poll. So thank you for joining, everybody. I think that's all for today. Thank you for tuning into Unboxing Women. We went from lawsuits to being fat or not. You know, it's a journey. So be sure to connect with us on all the socials, which you can find obviously in the show notes. And let me just go to a banner. Please do post your own experiences on your story, or DM us with, tag us with hashtag such a bitch and DM us. And just let us know your experiences. When you've been called such a bitch, when there have been gender issues where you are in your work or in your life. It doesn't have to be in the music industry, but yes, we obviously mostly talk about that.
Let us know.
Join the movement. Let's make some changes. And let's break the glass ceiling. Also, to support your favorite artists in this strange time, you can Google your local COVID-19 Arts Fund to donate whatever you can, or check which charity your favorite artists recommend. If you want to donate to them directly, you can also go to SoundCloud, where most of the artists have a button to donate directly to their PayPal. So yes, my name is Dana Rexx, and I've been chatting with Maika Rose. And this is a bi-weekly show. Our next episode will be on the 12th of November, because last week we skipped a week. So now we have 2 weeks, one after the other. So same time, same place. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you very soon. Bye.
Bye.